Hello, I hope you're doing very well. So in this video we're going to compare an Epiphone Les Paul Studio with a Slash Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. There's a fair price difference between these two guitars, but really it's quite interesting to explore which one to go for and whether it's really worth the price difference. So I thought we'd get into it and talk about all the differences, the similarities, all that good stuff. And so without further ado, if you look at the first thing you notice with the Les Paul Special 2 is the kind of the flat top to it. So there's no carve, which the Les Paul Studio does. The Les Paul Studio does have. Just a nice little bevel there, nice curve to it. If we start at this end of the guitars, you can also see only two control knobs. You've got 4, 2 tone, 2 volume on this, where there's only 1 tone, 1 volume on this one. 3-way selector switch as well as down here. It's up here on this. I actually prefer it placed here. I just find that easier to flick up here and down if it's in that position. Really, that's personal taste. It's not really a big deal, whichever way. The other sort of thing to note as we go up the guitar, on the back you will see, and on the side, this one has a little special trick. It's got a tuner on there, and it's got the battery cavity for it on here. I think personally it's a little bit gimmicky. It's good fun, but it's one of those silly little things that you can frankly do without. And while we're looking at the back, you can actually see a bit of grain of the wood on the Les Paul Special 2, which is quite pretty actually. It's not too bad. You can't really see anything through on the Les Paul Studio. Obviously it's just a black nice sort of, I guess it's a poly finish. What I would say, I already know that inside the cavity on both, they do actually both have, strangely enough, despite the price difference, full size pots on both of the guitars, which is pretty cool. Not necessarily something you expect. Obviously silver humbuckers on this, just the zebra coils on this. They both sound good. I'll link to sound demos as well of both guitars so you can hear the differences. These have a much more raucous feel to them. I mean, it's what you'd expect from a Slash Les Paul really. These are much more sort of almost genteel. They're good for all styles though. These are really actually very, very nice humbuckers. So there's nothing wrong with these. Both are very good actually in terms of sounds, but it really depends on what you want. You can rock out or you can go smooth on both if you want. I'd say this is probably less finessed for sort of smooth jazzy stuff. And it's also, I mean, if you look at it, the colouring is obviously pretty leery on this one, so maybe it's not for jazz aficionados. This one obviously has the little scratch plate on it, which is nice. You can take that off or leave it on. This does not. Then going up, obviously one of the big differences which gets most people, I think, which is going to be quite a big deciding factor, is the bolt-on neck. You've got the bolt-on here. You've just got the set neck on this, which is really, it does give a premium feel to the guitar. There's no doubt about that. It does feel better in the hands, and it makes you feel like you're playing a proper guitar. Obviously Strat's a bolt-on, so for a lot of people it doesn't make a big difference, but for a sort of Epiphone Gibson sort of Les Paul style guitar, it's always been one of those things that some people turn their noses up at, so it's worth mentioning. The fretboard and the neck, we'll talk about first of all, sort of obviously this has got the dot inlays. This has got the sort of trapezoid inlays, in whichever one floats your boat. I think the trapezoid obviously looks, I like it on a Les Paul. I think it's the business. It completes the look and looks really cool. Both fretboards are actually quite nice feeling, smooth. I think this definitely, actually no, this Les Paul Studio, this has got a rosewood fretboard. This might be, and you might want to correct me in the comments, it's been a while since I looked, but I think this might be Indian Laurel or something along those lines on the Slash Les Paul Special 2. But it feels, it's a nice looking wood. It's got some grain in there and actually looks good. It's not some horrible composite stuff. It is actually proper wood and feels very nice on there. So despite its lower cost, it is actually quite good. So the actual profile is an interesting one. because they're both slim taper profile. So if I flip the guitar, this one, let's have a look. So you can see there, it's got kind of a slim taper D. It's not a giant neck. So I've done the measurements, sorry, I'm a bit of a geek. At the first fret, the Les Paul Studio is 21.5 or so millimeters. And at the 12th fret, it's there or thereabouts, about sort of 23. It's a bit more than 23 millimeters at the width of the neck. And the Les Paul Special 2 is very similar. It's got the same dimensions at the first fret, which is the 21.4, 21.5-ish, give or take, like literally a tenth of a millimeter. And at the 12th, it is slightly smaller than 23. So it is slightly thinner, this, but it's very difficult to tell the difference. They've both got that kind of typical Epiphone sort of D shape, if that's what you like or don't like. It's just something to bear in mind when you get an Epiphone. It's going to have that kind of shape and neck. So obviously the truss rod cover slightly different. Obviously Studio on there, and Les Paul Special 2, and that one's got the slash insignia, if that floats your boat. This one is just Les Paul model, very nice, lovely. And the last kicker, if you like, what I think makes a difference, the Clusen style tuners on this one. So you can see the Epiphone Deluxe tuners, very nice. And as you can see, this one is actually one of the made in Korea models. So I don't know, sought after, I don't know. Obviously everybody talks about the made in Korea ones, and they're supposed to be very good. So if you can get one of these, and I would say actually if you can get one of these ones second hand, it will be a lot less than a new one, and they're just as good. And if some people argue that they're better, I'm not going to get into the origins of guitars and all that sort of stuff at the moment, but again, it depends on what floats your boat, really. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments, whether the country of origin these days really makes a difference. I think everybody's competing fiercely in terms of quality, so you get really good quality guitars these days. So there you go, Boss GT6 in the background. Anyway, so and this has just got die cast tuners on it, and you can see where they've the line there where they've slabbed the top on, stuck it on. I mean, that might actually be a bonus if there's ever a neck break or anything. It might just go there, which for Les Pauls is could be quite a good thing. Wouldn't be difficult to fix. But anyway, not advocating snapping a neck. So these actually, the die-cast tuners on this are better than a standard Les Paul Special 2, I would say. On a Les Paul Special 2, I found the tuners quite clunky. These are a minor upgrade on those. I mean, it should be. It is actually a more expensive guitar. I mean, you're paying for the name, you're paying for the gimmick, the tuning gimmick, and you're paying for the pickups and the finish and all that stuff. So it does cost more than a normal Les Paul Special 2. But then, really, the Les Paul Studio is that much more guitar, really, and I think is more versatile overall, depending on what you want to do. It's got nice, good, clean sounds, and sounds good heavy, and it really, frankly, I don't know, in my opinion, it looks the business. I really like both, but I'd say really if I had to choose, it would certainly be the Les Paul Studio. Really, really nice guitar. So there you are. That's a quick comparison for you. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Any feedback in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.